Okay, so let's get into this. Where we left off. Can I start looting? Leah, shut the fuck up.
Please,
I want to loot.
Go. You want to say something?
the wand. I just want to do the thing with the
Wand,
wand.
stick, and stick wand.
Okay.
The
All right.
The one that
All
looks
right.
like the stick and the stick that looks like the one.
Congratulations.
That's it.
Congratulations, you officially. Congratulations, you officially remembered. All right, so we'll get into recap of where we're at, and then we can do that.
Wand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where we last left off, y'all didn't have a battle. It was after the battle, and
We tried to nap and it failed.
you tried to nap. Yeah, you basically pulled out the heart of a dead treant, which happened to be corrupted. Y'all tried to take a nap once again in your lives, and were partially a few of you were partially interrupted by some rando, basically kind of wandering through the forest. Ran into Bacchus and Rigbin. Yeah, so read off the druid happened across your mess, who had been tracking basically that party that y'all got into a fight with, and said that he kind of recognized some of what was going on, had seen some of the similar things taking place as far as similar magics and whatnot go. He looked at some of the markings on the back of at least one of the I think it was the ogre or one of the orcs that was on the back of his neck, and said, yeah, just what I thought, and then said, okay, well, I got to go take care of some things, and told you guys to. Yeah, and then he yeeted after you using your fake dirt gloves of caution that you made. You gave him the corrupted treant heart, and he made off like a quiet person into the night. And for those who were going to
Thank God.
yeah.
So we long rested. Did we long rest? Please tell me we long rested.
Please.
So the rest of the evening / into early morning actually went through fairly quietly, other than the sun coming up earlier than most people would have liked. It was indeed a full night's of rest, restoring everybody to
Fucking finally.
Yay,
full hit points,
God.
resetting your spell slots. It was a fitful night, as just kind of sleeping almost somewhat out in the open. I think the only person that truly took cover was Alira, kind of hiding up in the froey hairline of the dead treant, and Poach and the Wolfies kind of like hiding underneath the underneath the card. However, everybody was pretty much exposed. A semi cold, but other than the person kind of popping in, a fairly quiet night. Sun comes up early enough, and it's actually warm enough to wake you all with fitful sleep. Yeah.
Kill him.
Wand.
Okay.
One.
I have identified.
Right.
And it's a good time for break. Everybody go pee.
What?
No, I'm just saying that because Jay got up and walked away.
Oh.
Like, excuse me, what the fuck?
I was gonna be so mad right now.
All right, good
You're
talk,
gonna piss your
everybody.
pants. You're gonna piss your pants right now.
Thanks for coming. We'll see you next
See you
week,
next
or maybe the week
Wednesday.
after.
And we'll put a pin in it right
Guys,
there.
next Wednesday, maybe Thursday, depending on how we feel.
How does August or September sound?
All right. So as y'all are waking up, who has the wand?
Who does that?
Probably me. I have
Probably.
60 million pockets. It's probably me.
Well, you weren't the
That's
only one
pretty smart.
carrying stuff. I mean, other people were carrying things. Because remember, there was a wand and there was a stick.
And there's a stick that looks like a wand and a wand that looks like a stick.
Yeah, there was a wand. Yeah, there was a stick shaped like a wand and a wand shaped like a stick.
Say that 10 times fast.
Who's got what? And then, of course, remember, there's also basically whatever is left over of the discombobulated ball sack of holding that has random bits and pieces of stuff stuck in there, along with the chest that has been unopened.
Mm-hmm.
So you all wake from your spots, and who's up first?
Well,
How to
I stayed
clean up.
down, so I'm probably awake first. Wait, yeah, I think Tarius and I and Sildar, we all stayed down, so the three of us get up first. And I don't know. I said I was gonna burn the bodies, so I guess I can do that.
All right, so Tyrael gets up and basically just, without really saying anything, just starts going about and gathering the dead carcasses from the wolves and the orc and ogres and you know, and just kind of like starts piling stuff off to the side. And then I think at one point you had talked about taking everybody's pants off, which I thought was kind of awkward, but you know, feel free
Well,
to-
yeah, no, stripping the armor. I thought we did last night, but
Yeah.
and I said we wanted to get around to piling the bodies, but we were just moving so fast because we needed to get off, I guess.
everybody needed to sleep. So as Tyrael goes through and he's piling the bodies, Sildar kind of like sits up and kind of is rubbing his eyes and observing this and kind of looks over at you, Torius, and says, "What is he doing?"
What the church taught me.
Oh my god.
Who the fuck
My
knows?
job.
Yeah. So and he looks at you again, Torius, and he said, "Is he normally like this?"
Oh yeah. You just gotta let him do his fucking thing, man. You don't talk to him, don't touch him anymore. He'll be done in a moment.
He basically kind of hops down off of the very uncomfortable cart that obviously was not designed to be a bed, and he kind of walks around to the back and he looks at the giant webby mess ball sack of holding that has like random bits and pieces of gold and copper and stuff kind of strewn throughout it, and just kind of random things, and he kind of asks, he's like, "Do you guys have anything to eat?"
I can go forage real quick.
You're
Well,
not
I
awake,
can create.
motherfucker.
I can create some food
Cool.
and spawn food with the
You-
magic.
You can.
You prepared that
hold
spell
on.
of all things?
No, I didn't
Wow.
prepare it. Actually, no, it's not
Oh.
prepared. I'm sorry, guys.
Idiot.
But
Therapy. All right. Rig
we
bid, go
could
forage for
definitely
some
barbecue
roots.
some. There's
So-
Yeah.
wolf flank. We could.
Hey, that's messed up, man. We have pet wolfies.
I mean, if you're hungry.
No, we're not
You
that
have,
hungry.
Feeding
you have
bacon
two
to
seasoned
pigs.
like hunters.
Yeah.
And
No, go get some acorns.
you're not a druid this time, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you guys go get
So-
some acorns.
So as this discussion about eating, the wolf carcasses is taking place, Tyrael, you feel a rock, a small little pebble flying out from underneath the cart and like hitting you in the back of the head, and you look down and you see the two wolves, you just kind of like laying down, still semi-sleepy. They're ignoring you, but Poach is just sitting there kind of glaring at you like, how dare you?
Yeah, bite me.
Okay,
right.
then we burn them.
All right. Hey, dead bodies are dead bodies. All right. So
It's already
So-
a corrupted as forest.
all right, so Rigbin, are you up and foraging?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the natural explorer, it says when I forage, you find twice as much food as you normally
Yeah.
would.
Well done.
Ooh.
Okay. Bacchus and Alira, what are y'all doing?
Pondering.
If you took natural explorer, you can do the same thing too. If you
Communing
did,
with the
If
ground.
you did, but if you didn't,
then fuck
Wait.
you, my food.
I was gonna say Bacchus we were waiting on your Drake, right? Can his Drake fly around?
Nah, I don't
Uh,
have it yet.
Damn.
Well, that was because that was part of the whole. There was like a small conversation that I had with the Redoth dude,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Where's your shit?" And I was like, "I don't know."
I know, bro.
Oh no.
and yeah, he did tell you to go look him up once you guys got to Phandelver.
That's
That's
right.
true. So I will be doing that.
Yeah, he told you to go seek the innkeeper who would help you find Redoth once you got down there.
Mhm.
All right. So what's people's doing? So at this point, Tyrael is walking around just kind of gathering up dead bodies, All right, Tyrael, where are you going to pile the dead bodies?
On top of the tree end.
Put it on top of Tarius.
Because it's the only thing I can't move, right? Wait, no, I guess we should probably move them all aside. I have a strength like crazy, so I can probably move everyone here. But
Hey man,
I
that was my
guess
sleeping bag. Don't put bodies on
I
it.
don't know. Let's just do this Riders of Rohan style, put it off to the side. Let's not catch the forest on fire.
All right.
Oh, so thoughtful.
Let's make sure that we're taking fire
Yes.
safety.
So
I'm at least wise enough to know that much.
yeah. So Tyrael basically just kind of makes a very ginormous, almost Viking style pile, a pylon, if you will, of dead bodies everywhere. Dumps them all onto the treant. Alira, where are you? Because I don't think you want to be set fire to the.
I got off. Set fire.
Is this going to create some kind of monster?
What if I cast Fireball while I am on fire? Does it like enhance it?
All right.
That's pretty great.
Okay, I'll just back away and kindly mind my own
all right,
business while Tyrael sets the forest on fire.
I used my flint. There you go, guys.
Alright.
Is this really the tree?
Is this really that? Like,
Camilla just wants to fireball everything at this
don't
point.
Hey,
spells.
dude, come on now.
Don't waste your spells, you weirdo.
I know, but it'd be
She's like,
fun.
but fire!
But they're
But-
dead.
But fire!
We need to make sure they're more dead.
Extra
Right.
dead.
All right, so
so do I use like a survival check?
for,
Yes.
I mean, if you're going to stand where you're standing, you are literally like right there at the treant's trick.
Well, I have flint. It's flint. It's not gas. I'm not.
All right, Alira, are you
Hey.
actually going to cast fireball at the tree?
No,
No.
no, I like my spell slots. I'll save them for an orc.
That's what's up.
So
A single orc.
So Tyrael trying his best is sitting there, and he's like, tick, 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 he just kind of gets after it, and he's just making things. He's making all of the sparks that he can, and eventually it kind of catches a little spark, kind of lands in the right place, and it kind of starts catching flame. At this point, because the treant was alive less than basically less than 24 hours ago, it is catching fire, and all of the pile of dead everything is making a hellacious amount of smoke, since it's not very dry. So this is not a subtle fire by any
Cool.
means.
Let's go. I have the berries.
Please, yeah, bye.
He has a berry.
I
found
found
my berries.
my berries.
Found my
Please, let's
berries.
go.
Fire.
Fire.
I have made fire, and you can see that Tyrael is just kind of standing there, like watching the fire grow, and his eyes
Just
kind of like
dancing.
get bigger. Yeah, he's kind of like dancing around, like a heathen, but he's having fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So I say my prayer. and the thing.
Sildar looks over at Taurus and is like, he really is weird, isn't he?
There you go.
You just gotta let him do a thing.
All right. So
You don't want them to become demons, guys.
yeah, so he basically kind of shouts out to the group, all right, well, we better get going. So he just kind of walks back around to the front, hops into the driver's side of the cart, and is ready to hiya.
I am also ready to hiya.
Start moving. Backrush, you're kind of still up there in the tree area where you had fallen asleep, just where you just and then fell down and we're sleeping.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of move in with the gang.
All right, you guys can move your tokens at this point. I'll move Mia's for now. All right, so everybody is within a very small, tight knit group with the whatchamacallit, with the cart, and y'all make your way. So as he being Sildar, he starts trying to negotiate his way around the quickly growing and smoking fire. It's a little bit of a tight fit around all of the trees and everything, but he manages to get the cart kind of by where everybody's at, and just continues down down the path. You guys see where the sky had kind of opened up, where the tree end had fall down and kind of like cleared that path. As you guys ride on for probably like another hour, you see everything just kind of like dumps down. Your viewpoint as the it's not even a road. It's basically just kind of the track and trail that the cart is riding on. It still is a little bit of a rough ride, but it's enough to be able to get by. You just kind of see like the kind of valley that dips down up ahead of you guys, and you see you see an apparent town. It doesn't look ginormous by any means, but he as he's kind of steering the cart, Sildar just kind of starts to smile a little bit, and Torius, you notice that he kind of seems to sit up a little bit straighter and seems to have a little more confidence, that he did than he did the previous day, and you can tell that he probably feels a lot better about actually being on the closer side to where you guys are going. You guys make your way down the rest of the hill, and you kind of dump down into the valley. And as you're kind of getting there, you see that the trail that you guys are on, that obviously will just continue leading out to where Phandelver is. You see that there's other trails that just kind of move out to the left and right and just kind of fork off in random places, with some signs and some markers about stuff. And as you guys kind of get closer and you actually start to dump into town, you see, well, you basically see the beginnings of Phandelver.
Wow.
Yeah.
We made it. Now, do not come back here once we leave.
Who wants to go back to the cave?
Yeah, I think I left something back there.
Yeah, a
We
shit ton
did.
of gold.
Yeah,
I know.
And a whole firewalled room full of corpses and
that's very
possibly
true. You know that
a boss.
that place smells like old rotten cheese at this point. So as you're going along the track, you kind of get close to the rutted track that you guys are in emerges from from the hillsides around you. You catch a glimpse of Phandelver. The town kind of consists of about 40, maybe 50 small, simple like log buildings. This isn't a new type of place at all. You can tell it's kind of older, but yet kind of rebuilt. As you guys get kind of like closer, you start observing that some are built on like old fieldstone foundations, like some more old ruins and stuff. You can tell that there was places that used to be there that have just kind of crumbled walls, made of stone, covered with ivy and briars, that kind of surround some of the newer houses and shops that have been built, showing that this must have been a larger town in centuries past. But most of the newer buildings are kind of set on the sides of the cart track that you guys are on, which widens into somewhat of a muddy main street that kind of is like probably 30 to 40 feet wide. I mean, as you get further in, you see that it just kind of like opens up and kind of becomes, it's basically like the central street of sorts, as it kind of climbs to the edge. It just kind of like, you see that it loops around a little bit and kind of weaves in and out of places. Off up ahead of you, you see a ruined manor house on the hillside, that's just east of the town. As you're approaching and kind of going through, you see children kind of playing in the town, and on the town green, green grass area. The townsfolk are kind of doing their things, their chores, running errands, and at the shops. It's not super hustle and bustle, but you can tell it's a busier part of the morning now that the people are there. And as you're kind of like starting to stroll through in your cart, and those of you guys walking around the cart, everybody's just kind of like looking up as you approach, and then they just all kind of go about their business. As you get probably a good 50 feet into the town, Sildar just kind of has his mind. He says, "Okay, so I think we need to get lodgings first. We can go to the inn," and he says, and then I have some business that I need to take care of, to try and find more information on Gundren. So I suggest we go straight to the inn.
Okay, in
Do it,
time.
buddy.
Okay.
In time.
Well, he seems to kind of know this place, obviously way more so than you guys, since you haven't been there. But you can tell he's kind of like looking around, like almost pensive, but still, whatever he's going, he's like, all right. So he kind of like points up ahead as you guys come into Laytown.
To the town.
To
To
the
the
town,
town.
to the town, to the town, to the
To
town.
the town.
Mm.
And what we will do here.
I can no see no shit.
Call mate, motherfuckers.
Uncle Nikki, I can't see the screen like to move the pins and stuff.
That's
That's
because it
I know
hasn't
you
loaded
can.
yet.
Yep, I'm
Loading.
loading it in for alls y'allses.
Eroding, it's eroding.
It's eroding. Where are my snaps?
I ate them.
And you're bad.
Ew, Nova, take it back.
I don't want my snacks.
Don't want your butt snacks.
Where are your robes, Ignacio?
Ooh.
They were
Yeah.
stinky.
Stinky.
They were stinky.
Du-du-du-du-du-du.
Ba, ba, ba. Me.
All right, let me get you guys moved to the right place, and then we will go like a. Okay. Ready. Steady. See if I can do this right. Ready and. All right, can you all see yourselves?
No.
Sometimes.
I still can't see it.
Oh, it's a lot of different answers.
Oh, tangina.
I'm gonna.
Wait, I see one little,
What do you see, buddy?
I see something. On the top, very, very top there.
Oh, that's what
This
you
is a very
see.
large map.
It is.
Yeah, I'm like-
it is a bit bigger of a map. Not gonna lie.
I can just
I
see
don't know what the
one
hell
singular token up at the very top of the screen, but everything else is
me.
black.
I can't see
It's
it.
just me here alone and then nothingness.
Can you guys see your own tokens?
I
No,
can see
it.
I can see my token, but it's just black screen after that.
Yeah.
All right, and then we will do.
Should we all try reload?
Permanent darkness. We will go like this.
Bear money doggy.
A, B, G.
So this is the fun about learning Roll20 on the fly, because this map is like way bigger than everything I did before.
Is it like a city? Big city?
Well, it's not really a big city per se. And okay.
And it casts daylight.
All right. So who cannot see on your screen?
I just see you sitting in your room.
No,
I can't.
on the
No, it's
fucking on
Do
roll
you
20,
have Roll20
dipshit.
up?
Why don't you have it on the thing like you know?
Yes, I can see. We're on like the very like border of the screen though, or of the map.
You-
Is that what?
I can't see the image, but I can see the placement.
Let's do.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, okay, so I'm in my thing. Click on.
This is cheese.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
We'll go like
Oh,
this already.
so-
Daylight.
Oh, there it is. This is pretty big town.
Yeah, it's pretty big town.
Cool.
Can I not see it because I'm on my phone?
Do you have the Roll20 map up?
I have the app on. And
Are you even in the game?
Are you using the computer that Mia set up
No.
for
Are
you?
your eyes open?
no, I'm not.
Do you need my computer,
so yeah, if you are using the app, you're not going to see maps. The apps just let you do some of the function, but it doesn't let you see the map from inside there.
You on my computer?
We're gonna put a pin in it.
No.
It's fine.
Blow the
Blade.
pin out. Blow the whole thing
You
up.
moved me.
What's that?
You moved me, okay? That's
Okay,
all.
I will move you then. Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out. Yep.
Get out the way.
Yep. Okay. So, all right. Well, now that we figured out why she couldn't see, I'm sitting her time. I'm like, why can't you see? Oh, because you're using the app. Yeah, cool.
Idiot.
All right. So we are making our way over to the whatchamacallit, to the Stonehill
inn.
Inn.
Sweet.
Huzzah. Everybody goes to. Right. So everybody gets to the inn. Can everybody see it okay at this point?
See.
Sure.
All right, you walk through town, you see the, like I said, the hustle and bustle of the people that are there. You have newer build on top of some older build, the paths and roads and everything that are kind of cleared out. There's obviously tons of businesses, there's houses, there's all kinds of stuff around, the small little bustling town that's there. As you make your way around, he basically just kind of guides and pulls the cart up in front of the Stonehill Inn. You see the big scrawled. You can tell that it was a handmade, carved, beautiful, ornate sign. That just kind of says Stonehill Inn, and it looks fairly newer. Not very large by all means, but big enough. So he kind of hops down off of the cart and secures that, and on the oxen up to the posts that are kind of out front, and he just kind of like walks in. He just kind of leaves you guys there. What are you guys gonna do?
Gonna go take a fat shit.
In the middle of the street?
Oh.
Guys, we should
Backers
Kind
just
of.
like plops down and starts making the Duke.
Making the Duke.
sorry, Lizard Man.
Sorry, it's not used to society.
That's how we do it back home.
Yeah. So what you guys gonna do?
I'd say we organize our crap and get our stuff in a chest and out of a web, and then wait for Sildar. Maybe even get some potions.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't know.
let's break it down. You said a handful of things. So is everybody helping do that? Are you just Tyrael? Do you just kind of hop down and start like pulling through the ginormous web sack of holding?
I was actually asking the group if they'd like to spend time and do that, because I know time. I don't want to take up all of our time. But yeah, I think that would be smart, right? Going through our stuff, and then, or at least just taking inventory of it, because we have no idea. It's still unlooted. It's just a mess.
It is a rather ginormous mess. It's a big ball of shit that you guys have been lugging around.
We'd have to, each roll to like attack the loot monster one after the other. Roll initiative.
Roll initiative to attack the loot.
Oh God.
Yeah. All right, so Tyrael hops down and he basically just kind of like starts going through the provisions that are left. I mean, because there was still like the sacks of food and all the dry provisions and everything that had always been in the cart. Now you're just heavy an extra sealed chest and Eco's generous discombobulated oblong ball sack of holding that has random stuff kind of thrown in there. What you doing?
Well, I guess, Mia, do you want to come take a look at this?
Yeah, I'll come help.
Okay, the master of the cart here.
See what we got here.
All right. Well,
Lure basically swings her legs around and kind of starts looking at the the stuff that Tyrael's kind of like pulling through. Again, you have the large web that has various pieces of river rock that got stuck in it as it kind of got pushed out of the cave. It has actually a pretty decent amount of random coins that are kind of stuck in there. And you also see the stick, that was shaped like a wand, kind of like halfway stuck in there, and then there's the large provision that of course has the shield with the lion on it, the big blue lion emblem that's on the side, and all of the food.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I ain't eating
Well,
that.
cool.
fuck.
I think Mia. Who has the
She's like, "I ate
who
that
has the
shit."
Arcana? The Arcana check. We can do those wands now.
I've got
I have
lovely
like-
Arcana.
Yeah, we had a couple people talking. So who's got good Arcana? All right, so you got. All right. Anybody else gonna take a shot at this?
I mean, I have identified.
Okay, read identify
yeah.
for us.
That's right.
She's like,
We used it like a couple of
Mm.
times. That's how we found out the heart of the treant.
Yeah, hold on. My cat's knocked my shit off of my desk, so I just gotta, go through my 475 cards. That's 11.
Oh, good. We got time. All right. Who has the stick shaped like a wand? Who's holding it?
I thought that was the one in the bag or that we were just looking at.
There's the stick shaped like a wand and a wand shaped like a stick.
Rigbin claimed to have the wand.
Oh, I found it.
We could all do the rock paper scissors produce item thing again.
All right. Is the group in agreement that Rigbin had one of the other items?
Yes.
All right. So who's taking a shot at this? Alir, are you gonna try and pull out an Arcana check this bad boy?
Yeah, can I try that so she doesn't waste a spell, or he doesn't waste a spell slot right away? Maybe that's
Yeah,
a second line
sure.
of attack.
Yeah, that's fine. So you basically kind of reach in and as Tyrael is I'll just say he's just like just manhandling the webs, the sticky stuff, and like trying to tear it apart a little bit to kind of help out.
There you go.
Yeah. Does anybody, Alir, do you have any kind of blade? Does anybody have anything that's a little more delicate, or are you just fuck it? You're just going to town and you're tearing it apart.
I mean, Eco
Because I don't remember what you guys have in your kits. I don't remember what y'all have.
Eco himself could easily dismantle this web. But I am not smart enough to say these things.
Yeah, Rigbin is riding on top of is riding on top of Eco and just kind of looks over and almost kind of like snickering, laughing, just kind of wonders like, okay, do we help out or do we just kind of let them do what they're doing, because it's
Okay, how about this? Actually, with frustration, I start getting
beating
really
the shit out of the bag.
I just start getting web all over my fingers, and I look at Eco, and I just start with a pleading look. Please, can you help? Can you please help me?
So, are you letting Eco assist with this, Rigbin?
I'm gonna try to guilt him into it.
All right. So Eco basically just kind of just is probably about 15-20 feet behind you, just kind of like gets up closer and just like literally the big lanky legs just kind of like pull the rest of the entire sack forward and just kind of deftly, like just almost like magic, just starts pulling stuff up, and like literally coins just start falling out. The stick falls down on the ground, like everything is just like everything almost comes out perfectly, and he just takes his front his front legs and just kind of like rolls everything back up. At this point, it just kind of shrinks down into a very sticky. Well, at this point, it's just a ball of shit because there was nothing kind of left inside it besides dirt, and the rocks. And Oh, you're kind of cutting out.
Whoa.
Yeah, you became robot. Oh no. Hey, my babies.
Is your mom using your microwave?
Is mom using the microwave? Oh,
I
hi,
mean,
Ashley.
it's a very valid question.
It is a valid question. No.
Ashley says hello.
Hello.
Wait, I'm going.
Let me.
Hello.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. So the sticky heavy mess is just kind of like now bundled up. All of the I'll just say the loots that were contained therein were they're all now dumped out onto the dirt on the floor because of course that was I'll just say the breadth of instruction more or less that was kind of given to Eco is, hey, pull everything out of the web. So he did exactly what you asked him to do. It just, of course, at this point, you see there's a pretty decent amount of, gold coins, silver coins, no copper sitting in it. It's obviously just gold and silver. And, you notice a couple of gems that have also kind of fallen out that just all got dumped in there before as you guys were like haphazardly trying to loot the place, shoving everything in and just get the hell out of there, out of the butthole that was, the backside of that cave. From Clark's room, and of course the stick. So Alira, you see the stick that is now sitting on the ground with the pile of stuff.
Right. I want to grab it and examine it.
So you pick up the stick and you notice it's shaped like a wand. It's very crude. It's very, very crude, but it's ornate enough to where you look at it and somebody went out of their way to this definitely looks like a wand. All right, make your Arcana check for me.
Oh,
So that's the D20 plus
Yeah.
the modifier?
Yepper. It's basically going to be your intelligence. That's Arcana is an intelligence roll.
Come on, Mia.
All right. Yep. So you that's a 12. All right. So as you go through and you kind of notice there's some Elvish writing on, as you look closer, you see that it's kind of scrawled in there. It's almost rubbed off a little bit, but it's enough to where you can see that it's definitely written in there deep enough to where it's not going anywhere, but it's written. Who has are you fluent in Elvish
I
writing?
speak Elvish. Yes.
You look at it as you're reading around. It basically says, "Use in emergency only."
Yeah, we're gonna want to identify that one.
Hey, Tarius. Wanna come identify my shtick?
You want to identify my shtick?
Come take a look at this.
Come take a look at my shtick.
Come check out this shtick, eh?
Oh my god. All right. So, okay, I want to cast Identify.
Okay. All right. So
All right,
walk
she's doing spell
us
slots.
through identify. That's okay. You guys, it's daytime. You guys are.
Should I bless
town.
everybody?
You're in
Before
town.
we do all this
What could go wrong?
economic stuff, economic blessings for everyone.
It's up to you. It's up to you guys. What are you doing? You'll have to read us identify.
All right, it says you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell if the magic item or some other magic imbued object you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use and how many charges it has, if any. You will learn any spells that are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell that created it.
Cool. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So you pick up the stick out of Alira's hand, and as she's gets done reading it, it basically says use in case of emergency, and then kind of in numbers next to it, it has the at the end of that same, it basically has one of two. inscribed on it.
One of two.
Yeah. So as you pick it up and you just you put it in your hand and you just kind of get a sense of it. You can definitely feel the magic that's there, and as you kind of concentrate and you cast your spell, you get a feeling that this is only one part of two. And
I think
and
it's the other one.
what's that?
It's the other one. It's because you said there's this big like a wand and a wand.
Oh
shape.
God, we found the
And-
Elder Wand.
And as you're sitting there and you're identifying that, Rigbin kind of notices in her sack where she basically has the wand. It starts. She can kind of feel it start vibrating.
She's
Shut up,
I'll be right
Jade.
back, guys.
Yeah,
I'll be
we
right back.
for whatever reason.
Hey, turn
I
that
don't,
off.
yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear you, Leanne. Wah.
Yeah,
No.
No.
nothing.
Blink twice if you have to poop. Blink 3 times if you're okay.
What's blink from? Not okay.
One. Well, if you gotta poop, you might not be okay. I've seen you and your need to poop, Jade.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna hate on it because I gotta poop at the same time. But, when nature calls, you just gotta go handle your shit.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Leanne sucks. Mm. This is a very chaotic session.
Everybody just be very quiet and stare. Everybody stare at Leanne and make her feel very uncomfortable.
Observe the liane.
Wait, I see.
There
Can
we
you-
go.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh,
There
there
we
you
go.
are.
Oh.
Ah!
Oh,
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Okay.
Okay.
Mom
Okay.
used the microwave.
No, she was sleeping.
Maybe she's sleep microwaving.
She said, beep, beep.
she put it on 2 hours, so she could nap. All right, so Rigbin, you feel
The dildo.
vibrating coming from the vibrating dildo coming. No, that's Jade. You feel the vibrating dildo coming from your backpack, from your satchel, wherever it is.
Okay, I take it out.
And
Did I-
it's vibrating, and it has somewhat of a little tiny, you could tell it's definitely reacting and responding to being near the other one.
Okay.
And as you hand it over to Torius, you basically see on the side that there's a little bit of the same kind of writing on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But Torius, you can't read Elvish, can you?
Hold your fucking nutsacks.
Nutsack is
She's a
Yes, I
cat.
can.
She should be able to.
Yes, I can.
you can. What's your race?
Cat.
Stupid.
No, that's the curse.
Half elf.
Half elf. Okay, all right, cool. So
Oh,
you can read
you
all
are an elfie.
Superstar.
Can
All
I
right.
what would happen if I used remove curse on Jade?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to see it.
I do
So
not
I'm just playing.
all right. So you see
He said, "Just kidding,
some of
fuck
the
you."
same Elvish writing, and you kind of turn it a little bit, and as you kind of inspect it a little bit closer, you basically see that it says 2 of 2.
Okay.
Can I stick them together?
We're gonna
No!
do some shit. No.
No.
Well, technically, you're actually holding both in your hand.
I take the second one from her.
I don't consent.
That we don't fucking care.
And then I have Eco come over you and like,
So all right. So Torius has basically both has both the wand shaped like a stick and the stick shaped like a wand in his hands, and is just kind of like looking at both and sees that it's used in case only in case of emergency, 1 of 2, and then the other one doesn't even say anything, like the wand itself that is shaped like it doesn't, it has nothing on it other than 2 of 2. And you kind of hear you know, Poach, who's been kind of like basically hiding underneath the cart the entire time because he doesn't want to be seen by the people, by the people there in town. He's kind of hiding behind, underneath. You hear him kind of giggle.
What,
Oh, I
bitch?
definitely
Creepy
stick
little
that
man.
shit together.
No,
I
stop! No!
Oh.
Oh my god, don't listen.
So-
to me.
Think before you make a decision that kills everybody.
So
No!
Torius just kind of looks and like without anything, it was like, huh, and like kind of sticks both of them together. Nothing happens.
Okay, thank god.
Oh,
I
so
snapped it
it's-
out of her hands, please.
It said in case of emergency. This is not an emergency.
This is an emergency.
Okay, well, I'll go
No.
over to Poot and be like, why are you giggling?
What the fuck is these?
And he says, those are fun.
What is it?
What?
You can't just say those are fun and not tell us what it is.
So he basically he just kind of like pulls down a little bit and he kind of looks around to see if anybody's paying attention, to see if he could be, to see if he could be seen. And he basically jumps up and grabs the wand shaped like a stick. So the piece that actually looks like a stick, he grabs it and he basically just fucking bolts across the street to one of the buildings that are across. And he just kind of looks. He just like as quick as he can, like his little green legs will carry him. He's just like running away from you guys as quickly as he can.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
I have Eco jump over him and grab him.
Yeah, attack!
Before you can do that, he basically takes this stick and he points it at Torius, and instantly Torius shows up right there next to him. And he is now sitting exactly where Torius was sitting in the cart.
Wow.
That's sick.
But only in an emergency?
Yeah, emergency, my fucking asshole. That was sick as hell.
It's a
Can I like grab?
Oh my gosh, that's
neck?
so cool.
And
Like,
and he immediately basically just like he tries to get away and like crawl back underneath it because he's just kind of giggling, and sweating, and he's just like he's trying to climb back underneath the cart as quickly as he
Oh
can.
gosh.
And he just he throws the stick down and he just so
That is awesome.
so Torius is basically sitting over on the other side of the street holding on to the wand.
He's like,
Cool.
oh, okay. So like small transportation.
But can so wait,
teleportation
It's
so
basically
the wand stay like it transfers or it stays in
Swaps
place,
people?
you basically switch places.
but the wand stays with whoever. No, he has the wand. Okay,
He
Cool.
has the stick.
gotcha.
I grab it from him.
And he just kind of and Torius, completely surprised, is sitting there holding the wand, looking at it, going, "What the?" You got, there's a little bit of surprise there. So
Alright.
in the in the identify, putting all of the pieces together, you basically have it's basically the emergency teleport. Wand shaped like a stick and stick shaped like a wand, 2-part deal. The emergency teleportation sticks basically hold 5 charges, 1d4 plus 1, of which regenerates daily at dawn.
Ooh.
So it can be used up to 5 times per day, and then you'll basically roll a d4 to show how many charges it will get back at the end of the day. Of course, but it can't hold any more. But it can't hold any more than 5. As an action, you can expend to call upon the rods to basically teleport and change places. Upon doing so, the designated people immediately switch places. So it will never teleport you into a place of danger. You will only switch places.
Interesting. Can you teleport other objects to switch places, or no?
So no.
So basically,
not
the
gonna
most
wait
efficient way to
any more
hold.
time.
Okay,
Well, there's
Hear me
only
out.
one way to find that out.
Okay. Well, can I have Eco like wrap up our loot and stuff into a cleaner stack of holding?
Sure, if that's what you want to do.
I thought we
Yeah.
could split up the stuff. Wait, what else is left? It was just food.
Yeah,
Food and gold, right?
it's the regular food provisions and like some of the tools, the hammer, the the chisels, pickaxes, shovels,
gotcha.
stuff like that, and then like some of the dry provisions and rations. There's the lion shield coster chest that's
Okay.
left over, and then the pile of coins, and a few small gems that managed to kind of get stuck in there. That's all sitting in the dirt.
Can
Okay.
So,
Okay.
do you want to pick it all back up and just kind of put it into another clean ball sack of holding?
Yeah, I'll just clean off everything and be like, Eco, make me like a box. Can you make a box out of
Taking
a wig?
not being in any kind of hurry. Eco takes his time to be a little more gentle and just kind of creates like almost like a, I don't know, like a medium-sized satchel that you can dump all of the stuff into that is definitely rock, pebble, and shit free.
Yeah. Okay. Can we go into the inn now? Or wait, can Poot come with us? Like, can I just be like, he's my intern?
Probably not.
My intern. Yeah. Poach definitely doesn't really seem to kind of want to interact with humans in this space. Probably for obvious reasons, considering that that the group that he was with had been constantly raiding anybody that was kind of coming through.
If I give him a pair of pants, will he look like my intern?
He will look like little Poot wearing a pair of pants.
Damn it. Okay.
Damn it.
Damn.
Torius, Torius, you're over on the you're across the street, still just kind of sitting there looking, with the wand in your hand. What are you doing?
Bitch, walk over here.
I want to chill. I want to find the tavern.
We're going to an inn.
Are you staying with the group, or are you just gonna like start wandering around?
No, I'm gonna wander. Take me to a blacksmith. I want to talk to the man.
Oh, you're gonna get kicked out. You're gonna get kicked out of that fucking blacksmith. I'll
well,
tell you.
At least she's going without us, and they will not have seen our faces yet.
All right. You hear the sound of definite iron, iron meeting iron and clanking, kind of coming from one of the buildings. You had passed by it earlier when you guys kind of rolled into town, so it was like one of the first places. The smithy is there, kind of layered like there at the beginning. So, yeah, if you go over there, well, of course we didn't move your token.
Can I go with her?
No.
I'm gonna follow after her. Just follow after her.
Bitch is gonna backtrack.
Because I have some gold to spend too, dude.
So Torius makes his way back over to the smithy building and just kind of looks up. It's not very big, but it's decent size, and you can kind of hear the whatchamacallit, the fire billow going, and you can kind of hear the clanking of the metal and just that normal pattern that everybody just automatically associates with blacksmithing work, and you basically open up the door and just kind of go inside and disappear.
Oh, all right, guys, have fun.
All right, who's doing what?
I want to go and talk to the innkeeper about finding the dude.
Me too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go there
Backwards.
too.
Okay, so everybody else is going to go inside the inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
As you guys, you guys have been like this whole thing, dealing with Eco, making the new ball sack of holding, getting kind of pulled out, and and Poach playing his little magic disappearing trick. It's probably been like maybe 10 minutes. It hasn't been very long at all. You know, as time just kind of seems to just chill and smooth along there in the town. Everybody's kind of relaxed. You guys walk up and you go up the steps. You know, you see the windows that are out front, and you open up basically the door that kind of has glass in the, you know, in the middle of the door, so you can kind of see through it as you're walking, and as you pull on it. It's an older wooden door that you kind of hear it squeaks, and you know, as you walk in, and there's a bell that's you know, that's kind of attached to the door, so anytime it opens, the barkeep, or sorry, the innkeeper knows, you know, that somebody's announces, "I'll be with you in a minute," and just kind of like looks up and just kind of nods at you, Bacchus, as you're walking in front. He kind of looks over and not necessarily used to seeing Dragonborn. He kind of almost seems a little apprehensive of a giant fucking lizard coming into, you know, into his place, but is more kind of curious than bothered by it. You get the sense of probably hasn't seen many, if at all, Dragonborn, and kind of immediately looks to Sildar, who's actually already there at the counter, kind of talking with him, and Sildar kind of notices, you know, the look on his face, and then kind of immediately looks over, and then he's like, "Oh," and then he just kind of looks at the innkeeper and says, "It's okay. They're with me," and he just kind of like tries to go back to his business, and is kind of looking down, and you hear him kind of mutter something. You hear him mutter something under his breath to Sildar, and Sildar just kind of like looks back over at you and looks, and he goes, "It's okay."
Talking to me or the innkeeper?
He's talking to the innkeeper.
Okay.
Innkeeper's a fucking racist.
Okay.
Ooh, you don't know what's happening. You're pissing off a blacksmith right now.
Yeah, shut
Take it
up,
out.
dude.
Your life is on pause.
Your life track is simultaneously rolling out. So as you walk up to, you know, and you kind of stand there next to Sildar, and you kind of hear, you know, the two of them talking. Sildar looks at you and he says, there's enough room for all of us. He said, but I'm not going to stay here. He said, I'm gonna go set up shop over the town master's hall. But you guys have rooms here. It's taken care of.
Oh, lit. Thanks, dude.
That's
Thank you.
nice. Okay.
Yeah. and the innkeeper basically, you know, his name is Tolbin. He says, yeah, you know, your friend here is taking care of everything. You know, and he basically just kind of reaches down and he pulls out 6 keys that are just rudimentary keys that, you know, you can see they kind of almost all look like they're the same key, but maybe slightly different. Just kind of puts them up on there, and, you know, of course they have the little, you know, the little room numbers attached to them. And he just kind of like slides them over to you Bacchus, and he just kind of, he keeps staring at you a little bit and just kind of looking, and he said, I didn't know there was any more of you.
So you know Redoth.
He just kind of looks at you and he's like, "Oh, yeah."
Can you tell me where to find him?
And he just kind of he looks over at, you know, Sildar, and Sildar just kind of like nods like, "Yeah, it's okay." And he's like, "Well, he's not here in town. You're gonna have to go hike over to get him. He's a little further up the hill." And then he kind of like reaches down and he pulls out, it's almost like a crude map,
You and your crude maps.
that he it looks as though a 6-year-old has kind of drawn it, and you know, but he kind of like points out and he's like, you know, we're here, and he just kind of like guides you, and he shows you, and he kind of just like draws out the road, and he says, you know, you're gonna have to kind of go out this road, and then there's a little trail that goes up this way, and as he's marking on there, and he said, and you'll kind of find him around this area. You'll know when you see him.
Okay.
But and he said, but he'll probably see you before you see him.
Creepy.
Well, I mean, that happened last time, so.
And he just said, he goes, yeah, he's a little kooky. And he kind of
Oh,
looks
he's
at
got
you.
competition.
He look he he looks at you and he says, "What's your name?"
Backers.
And he just kind of like reaches his hand out and to shake your hand, and he says, "Nice to meet you. I'm Toblin Stonehill. I own this place."
Toblin Stonehill.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh.
oh.
Whoa.
So he finishes basically writing into his ledger, and he says, yeah, your guys's your guys's rooms. There's three rooms on the bottom, down this hall, and then he kind of points to the stairs that are right there at the edge of the hall, and he said, in the other three rooms that you guys will have are upstairs. They're all on the same side. And he just kind of like slides the rest of the keys over to you, and then kind of goes back to like writing, finishing filling out his ledger.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Righty.
Righteous.
Righteous.
He got a rhythm in him.
In the meantime, Torius basically has kind of walked into the smithy, and you can hear, just like I said, the clanging of of metal on metal, and you can instantly feel the heat that just kind of like comes through the spaces. The person in the back of the room is just he's just cranking away on on some iron piece that's sitting there on the anvil, and he keeps pulling it out and kind of like hitting the billow. And you guys, you fucking
He just looked ugly. It's funny.
Hey.
Cranking away on a piece, and he just kind of like looks he looks over at you, Torius, and he just kind of like stops, and looking at he's looking at the cat in front of him, and he basically he has on earmuffs, and he just kind of like slides it down and kind of pulls his goggles down a little bit, and he just kind of like rubbing his eyes, just friggin' black metal and soot and dirt on his face, and he's just he's very gruff. He's got a big old thick beard, wearing the the leather coveralls and everything, and he's just got ginormous thick arms. You could tell that he's been doing this for a while. He just kind of he looks over you, and like I say, he's just kind of rubbing his eyes like, am I looking at a fucking cat right now? And he just kind of like he puts the iron down. He just lets the fire kind of do what it's doing, and he just kind of like walks up and he gets a little bit closer, kind of makes his way over to the counter. He's like, "Can I help you?"
Yes.
And he just kind of like,
Am I on drugs?
he kind of looks over at his pipe that's sitting over on the counter, and he's thinking to himself, what did my wife put in there this morning?
Magic mushroom.
Yeah, and he's like, and he just kind of starts, he kind of like dusts off his hands a little bit, and he kind of gets a little bit closer. I don't mean to be rude, but
What the fuck are you?
haven't seen your kind around here before.
How much time do you got, sir?
He says, I live here. I got all day.
Well, all I need to know is there was this very special friend of mine. She's kind of an asshole, but she somehow obtained nunchucks. And I was wondering if I could get said nunchucks and also put balls with spikes at the end.
And he's just kind of listening to you talk, and he's like,
I'm talking to a fucking cat right now.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I need you to add 2 small sticks to a chain. And then stick spiky shits at the end of said sticks. I got a lot of gold, dude. Do you want it or not?
Yeah, of course. I apologize. I've just never seen. I'm sorry. What do they call your kind? Is it toboggan? Toboken. Oh God, I'm sorry. I don't remember. My wife would kill me if she saw me doing this. I'm sorry, Tabaxi.
It is, yeah,
Oh.
absolutely.
Why are you lying to this man? Why are you lying to him?
Heard about you, but I've never seen it. Welcome to my shop.
Thank you.
What did you want?
Two sticks, chain, balls, swingy.
Oh my god, don't ask for chains and balls.
Yeah.
You don't get what you asked for.
So and he kind of like he looks behind him, and of course, you know, along the one wall when you walked in, you know, on the right, there's various swords, there's shields, and he walks up and he basically kind of walks up to the mace that is just as long as you are, like as you are tall, and it takes a little bit to kind of heft it, and he. You know, when he pulls it down, you know, the weight of the ball just
Yeah.
kind of like drops down a little bit, and he's just kind of like swinging it. Is this what you're looking for? I don't. And he's like, can you carry that?
Cut the wood in half and then stick another one at the other end with the chain in between. So it creates swinging motion.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think I could do that.
What a bro.
I'll probably have to make it a little bit lighter because I don't know
That's perfect. Thank you for
How-
the consideration.
how strong are you. And he starts walking around haphazardly, and he like starts picking up random shit and putting it like on the floor in front of you. Can you lift that?
Strength
Then he walks
check,
over and he picks up
strength
something
check.
else and go, what about that? Can you lift that?
Yes, I can, sir. I used to be a man.
Aren't your spirit nunchucks enough?
Well, I'm very confused. What do you mean you used to be a man?
I was cursed, my gentle
Oh
sir.
god.
And now I just really need something to make me feel better. And
Oh.
I think
All right. All right, lad. No need to be upset. So, and he just like starts walking. He just kind of looks at the shit that he put down on the ground. He kind of realizes like, okay, and he leaves it there. And he walks back. He walks back over to over to the wall, and he basically puts the mace up, back up there. And he walks around, and he's like pointing as he's kind of like going a little further down, and he's like. I think that'll do. And he basically grabs another one and walks over to where the fire nose tools are, and he like kind of starts working on it and pulls out a sign. Like he literally is just like starts furiously like just kind of cutting through the chain, and the ball falls down onto the ground, and he kind of looks over at you, and he just kind of holds it out, and he's like. He turns around and he walks back up to the wall, and he's looking. He's like, oh, does it matter if the wood matches?
no.
So he walks in. So he basically grabs a stick that's kind of there, up against the wall, and he kind of goes down. And he literally like puts it right next to it, and he's like, hold out your arm. So you hold out your arm and your paw, and he basically just kind of like looks, and he's doing like some random weirdo measurements, like with his hands and kind of like eyeballing stuff. And he just kind of like pulls out a little like a little marker that he's got that just kind of has like it's like a wax marker, and he just kind of like makes some random hash marks on it, and then he just turns around, walks back over, and and starts gets out another saw. He's just fucking clanking away. He's doing some weird shit, and he's almost kind of tickled that a cat would basically come in and ask him for some random weapon that he has no idea why, and he still kind of stops, and he looks at you, and he basically kind of looks back over at the pipe, and he looks back over at you, and he just kind of rubs his eyes and like, you're real, aren't you?
Yup.
I'm sorry. And he turns around, he just kind of starts going, and he turns around, he's like, I apologize, you're gonna have to give me a bit. This is probably gonna take me, I don't want to rush this. It's probably gonna take me the better half of today.
Well, that's fine. Take your time, nice.
I can just imagine this big, like burly Scottish, like
He's, like, looking
blacksmith,
down at this
just like
cat.
looking down at some cat that's just like.
I have gold. Give me nunchucks.
And he looks at me and he says, What did you call it?
A nunchuck?
What has it got to do with nuns? You know what? Never mind.
See, beat him with it.
And he says, What's your name?
I am Tarius.
Torius, nice to meet you. You can call me Charles.
No
Singular?
plural, no S.
Just Charles, one single Charles.
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 All right,
Char-
Charles. All
Charles.
right, Char. Can I call you Char Char?
I'd prefer that you didn't. And he turns around and he kind of, he goes back over to the, the stand where he was kind of like working on stuff. And he turns around and he says, that'll. Looks back over you and he's like, he basically grabs the crude stuff that he had started kind of putting together, and he walks back over and he goes, make sure you can hold this. And of course it's literally just a stick with one chain and it's not even attached or anything. He's just kind of like, he kind of like holds it out and then just kind of stares at you like almost wanting to know how the fuck a cat is going to hold on to this. And he's like, can you hold that?
Huh?
Well, here, take it. And he's just kind of standing there like. So you reach over, you pick it up, and he's like, huh. And he walks away, he just like literally snatches it out of your hand and just kind of walks back over, and he kind of starts working again. He looks around, he's like, all right, yeah, give me the rest of today. So maybe if you come back tomorrow, are you here? Can you come back tomorrow, Tarius? And yeah, I should have it ready for you in the morning.
Cool.
All right then.
Thanks, Charles.
Oh, nope, no problem.
Oh my
Nice.
god, it's the cat.
Nice.
This is just what
That's
I
the way he
imagine.
walks in.
That's just what I imagine him seeing while he's having this conversation with a cat, asking him for nunchucks.
That's exactly what's happening. And he's just like, nice to meet you, and I guess I'll see you in the morning.
Mia, for context, I've changed my background to a very like stretched image of a cat that's standing on its hind feet, and it's like its back legs are like long as shit, and then its torso is just like small and like it's like a buff cat.
Yeah, he has like human arms and he's like squaring up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So and of course he takes his he takes his goggles and he just kind of puts them up over the top of his head, and he's not even dealing with the fire anymore. He's just kind of sitting there and he's looking. He's kind of like starts. You can tell he's kind of like working on the wood, and he just kind of he dismisses you and just kind of like goes back to what he's doing, and then he just kind of stops and he just kind of looks back as you're standing there, and then kind of goes back to doing what he's doing, and he just kind of stops and he looks back over at you again. Just kind of just kind of shakes his head and he's just kind of staring at you.
I know, leave. Man,
Oh,
you gotta
okay.
make it food.
Okay, bye. And he turns around and goes back to. he just goes back to making his stuff.
This poor dude is just doing his thing,
God.
and a fucking cat walks
Waiting
into
to
his
see
shop
if
asking
she
for a
uses the
big
door.
fucking pair of nunchucks. Yeah, he's just kind of like peering out the door to make sure you like left in a real.
Leaving footprints at least.
So he does. He actually like you can hear the door kind of like open back up, kind of like a little bit of a crack. Like he also has one of those bells on there. Like it seems like it's probably going to be a common theme that he's so you kind of hear the door like, ding, and you see him just kind of like watching you as you're like walking away, leaving paw prints in the dirt, just kind of like almost hiding and staring at you like. And you actually hear, because you're a cat, you have pretty good hearing, and you kind of hear him go, what the fuck?
As I come, I'm like, oh, here you are, and I pick her up and I throw her over my shoulder and I take her back to the cart.
And
He's just like, what
his
the
eyes are just kind of staring at this Goliath of a
Of a
paladin that is now carrying a fucking cat.
Who asked for nunchucks?
And he's just kind of looking at it. He's like, I thought I seen it all.
Just wait till you talk to the innkeeper, dude.
can wait till you
Does he
see me rolling
Eco?
by.
Does he see Eco outside?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's just kind of looking at Tyrael, this, behemoth of a paladin, fully armed with a cat sitting up on his shoulder, walking towards a fucking giant spider, and he's just like,
Tyrael like fist bumps Eco. What's up, bro?
and he's like, I think I gotta lay off the weed. I gotta stop hitting that pipe. And he turns around and he's just kind of like almost dumbfounded and shocked, and he just kind of slowly turns, back to it, and he just kind of like he's staring at the nunchucks like, what the hell just happened right now? And he just kind of like walks back up and he's like, whatever, money's money, And so he just just goes back to, furiously working on this new order that he had.
Poor guy.
Trust in that man.
Okay.
What did you say, Jade?
I'm putting my trust in that fucking man, and if he doesn't do it, Mia casts fireball on the whole time.
Fireball is
All
chopped to the
right,
ground.
I got you. He'll die if he
dude-
doesn't fulfill your order.
Have
Seems
people
totally
just
fair.
make a web over his entire house so he can never leave.
All right,
Right.
so what's everybody doing at this point?
I would like to seek out a radar.
Burrito. Yeah, let's go fucking back into the forest.
Oh,
to the
God.
river. Back to the forest.
Let's go find this man.
Yeah.
All right. So while you guys are there, I mean, you guys have your keys and everything, but there's still this cart full of, I guess, provisions and everything technically. So, you guys were having your conversation, Tyrael and Torius, kind of come walking up as you guys are walking out, and you see Sildar. He already walked out and was kind of like walking over to another building, and he kind of like stops and he sees all of you just kind of like reconvening, and he walks back up to you and he's like, hey, so you guys have your room and everything, like I said, don't worry about it. It's all taken care of and whatnot, and they should take good care of you there. But are you guys gonna go take the the provisions back over to the Lion Shield Coster, because that is their
That's right. Yeah.
that is their goods, and technically that's what we should be doing. But I need to go out to the town master and take care of some business real quick, and I can go do it for you, but I'd appreciate it if you would go drop that stuff off.
Oh, is it? Oh, yep. That was the job.
Drop off the cart and the ox.
Yeah,
It's not our cart.
true. Yeah, and I don't want to keep track of a cart anymore.
We can
Okay.
ask him if we can keep it afterwards, and then I'll just use find steed, and then we could use the steed indefinitely till it gets shot or killed.
I mean, if you want to ride on the horse and oxen, you feel free to.
The oxen.
She
The-
fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the
I don't know.
meantime, in the meantime, you kind of look down, and the oxen have kind of like basically just like big old piles of just cow shit right there, where they were at, and
yummy.
and you see Poot Poot is basically kind of like grabbing some of the sticks that fell out of the original dirty ball sack of holding, and he's just sitting there kind of like poking the poop, hiding behind things, like trying not to be seen, kind of like bored out of his mind.
Yeah. I say, we deliver the cart and the stuff in it to the peoples we're supposed to be seeing.
Huzzah.
Superstar.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
All right. So is everybody kind of going together now that? Sorry, I'm gonna put everybody back together.
Well, you know me. Yeah, I would love to go into every single building in the whole village.
No, please.
I am. Hold on, Nate.
Oh,
Plus,
thank you,
you do
Vanessa.
have random pants that you need to drop off and scrap.
Oh, fuck you.
All right. So as Sildar is, he's walking over to a building that's kind of like a little further down the road and semi-adjacent around the corner. That is the the town master's hall. And as he's walking that way, he just kind of like points over and he said, go ahead down to the Lion Shield Coster, and it's right there. That and the provisions place. They'll both be expecting that stuff that you guys have there.
All right. To the what? Lion shield?
Yeah, the
What
Lion
is
Shield
it?
Coster and,
No, the
and
witch wench.
to the Wind Wench. I'm not a wench, I'm your wife. Sorry.
Thanks,
Um,
Jeff.
yeah. So as you guys kind of continue walking now, you guide the cart, and the oxen, down the road just a ways, to the kind of almost like the double set building that's there, on the right side. There's a big half of it and kind of like a small little section that's butted up against it. The smaller section, it has the whatchamacallit, that same symbol that's on that chest, and and then right next to that, the building they're basically kind of built into each other. It says Barthens up on top. On the bigger section. So as you're walking up, a little kid, a younger
Hello.
boy,
God.
basically kind of comes running out of the provisions place, and he's just kind of like running, and he's got something that looks like candy or something, and he's just kind of sitting there eating it as as he kind of comes blasting out of the door, and again you hear another another whatchamacallit, like a little bell on the door, and this one just kind of like automatically closes and everything. And as you're running out, he sees your guys' group and Torius sitting on top of this behemoth of of an armored person, and he'll hears somebody yelling, "Kill him!" And he just kind of stops and he looks up and he just screams bloody murder and just tears across the road and like just disappears, in between some buildings. Like a vapor trail, he's just kind of gone screaming, and
I look at Tarius and I say, "Bad cat."
Produces a spray bottle.
As you hear the little kid kind of like running away and screaming, you hear the door kind of like swing back open, and an adult male he kind of comes out, and he's like almost chasing out, like, what the hell, like, why is this kid running away and screaming? Like, he's obviously concerned. And then he kind of like he looks over at your group, and he's just kind of a little bit startled, and he looks down at the at the cart, and he looks at a giant lizard, and he looks at a frickin' cat, and he's looking at a paladin and at this other rando, and he's like, whoa, hello?
I just jump out. I'm like, hi.
Hey, man.
He's like, ah. I think he sees, he sees the giant spider, and he's just like, he's almost kind of like stuck in the moment. He's like, and he looks down, and then he kind of sees the the provisions and everything, and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
hello, and he kind of points, to all the rations. He goes, thank you. And he just kind of, and he points in here, but that one, but that one, and he points to to the chest, and he goes, oh, over there, and he just kind of points to to the door that way from him, and he kind of like he walks back in, the door kind of shuts behind him, and he kind of comes back out, and he's like got a sack of beans or rice or something, sand, whatever. You don't know quite what's in it, but it's basically just kind of like a full sack that he just kind of like slides it, to kind of like hold the door open and props back in, and he goes, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
And he kind of and he walks back inside.
Hello?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm going in.
I
God.
furiously grip your paw, and you are not.
I wish I had my robe.
Can we just like grab her by? Can we just like dangle her by her feet? No.
Grab her by the tail.
All right, so
We put her
so
around.
what y'all doing?
I
Um,
want to know why
is he already gone?
Horse
Did
does
he?
that.
Did he literally?
He basically he
He-
propped the
he
door open
bounced.
for you, and then he went back inside the building.
Bye,
I'm going in.
Alicia.
I'm going in.
I'm gonna pee really quick. 30 seconds.
Really crap.
Okay.
Jade wants
Alright.
to know why we
30,
risked our lives for this box.
28.
All right. Pee break.
We could have
28.
taken
Okay,
it.
so I do it. I take Jade in there on my shoulder and I follow in and because I have the same question. Okay, what's what's in the box and why did we risk our lives for it?
What's in the box? All right, everybody go pee. We will pause for a break and
Oh my gosh.
All right, so the dude basically pushed open after kind of like running into your motley crew, hearing the rando child like running and screaming away, ran into the most motliest of crews and was like, "Oh, thank you, in here." And that over there, and slides the door open, and then kind of like goes back inside, like he's kind of waiting for you.
Okay. I said, yeah, we drop everything off and then we all head inside
so
the building.
so the guy is just kind of like standing there. He didn't even bother getting behind the counter. He was just kind of like standing there in front of it. I'll say kind of almost staring at you guys the same way that that Torius was kind of stared at by someone else. Just kind of like he's just wide-eyed, just kind of like looking at this entire motley crew. He's like, thank you for that. And he kind of like points at the stuff outside of the door, and he's like, I wasn't sure if you guys were actually going to make it. We've been obviously having some challenges with things, so I do appreciate you bringing that stuff by. And he's just kind of like looking around. He's like, where's Sildar?
He's tending to his own matters at the town master's hall.
Yeah, and he's like, is Gundren with him?
That's the thing. The reason we didn't make it in time was that they got their shit rocked.
That motherfucker dead.
And yeah, I think we're looking for him, right? They took him something with all of this scary shit in the forest. So yeah, we are on our way to rescue said Gundren.
Oh, he's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, we were kind of expecting them all to come in together, but yeah, I hope you all find your friend. But I do appreciate you guys bringing this by. And it looks like you have some stuff for the coster next door. But yeah, no, if you don't mind, and helping me bring in some of those, bring in some of those provisions. It's good to have those. And he kind of like walks. I'll just say it tepidly, instead of walking kind of like through your group. He just kind of like circles his way around your group to go back outside, and he just kind of like walks up to the up to the cart, and he's just kind of like eyeballing Eco as he's like reaching his arms around stuff and just kind of like turning and kind of like stepping and kind of like walking back inside, and he's like, that's a big spider.
Yeah, he's fine though. Don't worry about him.
And he kind of like circles his way around you guys again, because you guys are just standing there watching him, and he just kind of like walks back behind the counter and like starts putting stuff down, and he's just kind of like turning around looking at you guys and walks back over and just kind of like walks back around you guys again and goes
like
back.
pushing everyone like,
Okay.
can you move?
All right. I can help him put some of the stuff on the counter. And then I also ask him, so what was in the chest? Me and my friends were curious to know. Not that we need to, but
he's like, are you talking about the chest from the coster next door?
Yeah, the one that we brought out of the cave.
He just kind of looks at you and he's like, I have no idea what's in there. He goes, but the coster usually, they have a lot of finished goods and stuff that they kind of import to pretty much like all of the town areas and stuff that they come in, from the city. He goes, they kind of help provide a lot of provisions, on the upper end of things for us too. He goes, but I have no idea what's in there. He's like, I'm sure they're probably happy to get it back next door. And so, of
Mhm.
course, he just kind of continues, grabbing stuff, and he's no longer like side skirting since your group is kind of like parted, and you're like since you're walking through the middle of the group, he's he feels free to kind of like keep on walking, through and just kind of grabbing stuff and basically just kind of emptying the entire cart, um, and as he's he kind of like he's like looking and leaning over, he notices the very giant spider is kind of like sort of skirting towards towards the edge of the whatchamacallit, the edge of the cart, and Eco's leg just kind of like slowly extends out and shoves Eco back in, because Eco was kind of like, or I'm sorry, Eco shoves Poach's body kind of like back underneath, because he was like almost popping out, like he was trying to hide from the guy on this side of the cart, not realizing that he was kind of like standing out on the other side of the cart, and Eco's just kind of like pushing him back underneath, and the guy was like, ah. And he just like grabs the rest of it, and he just kind of like watching the spider, turns around, keeping an eye on him, and like almost stumbles, kind of like going back up the stairs inside. You know, Poach remains unseen at this point, and
Good.
as he walks up and he's like, "Thank you guys again for bringing this stuff here. Obviously the town kind of always needs the resupplies, and with all the, just the banditting that's been happening, it's kind of been a pain in the ass." And he goes, "And we have enough problems here with with the other guys." And so he just kind of like walks up and kind of puts stuff down, and goes up to the counter, and he kind of like opens up the closest thing to his cash register, and he kind of like, I believe it was 50 gold a piece, and he kind of looks and he's like, okay, so he kind of he pulls out 50 gold, for each of you, and just kind of like sets it up on the counter, and he goes, and is there anything that you need while you're here? He goes, we do have provisions, not that I want to take your money back, but
Wait, what do you mean by other people? Like the other things that you said?
And he kind of stops and he looks at you, almost, he looks a little hesitant to kind of answer, and he kind of like looks over at the door, and he walks up to the door, and he kind of like looks out a little bit, and he just kind of like checks, up one side of the road and kind of down the other, and he turns around and he goes, the Red Brands, ever since they've come here, he goes, they're just nothing but, they've caused nothing but trouble, and the damn town master won't do anything about it. It seems to be getting worse.
Red Brands? Is that what you
Red-
said?
Yeah, the Red Brands.
Is it?
He goes,
Are
"Oh,
they?
you'll know them when you see them."
Is there anything we should expect from them?
He goes, other than they're a pain in the ass, and giving everybody's way, because it genuinely causes problems with the businesses around here, because we kind of set up as the mining town. I mean, having having lots of people kind of come in, and everybody's been searching for the mines, and it's been good kind of rebuilding things over the last how many decades, but these guys come in and they give people a hard time, and he said it just kind of scares people away, and he said, like I said, the damn town master won't do anything about it. He just kind of, I don't know if he's helpless or worthless, and he just kind of rolls his eyes and is like, probably a little bit of both, and and then turn around and kind of walks back behind the counter.
Okay.
What
Well,
what do these
no.
Red Brands deal in?
He just kind of laughs like, trouble.
Okay. Well,
I'd like-
we'll look out for them.
And he's like, okay, just
Okay.
watch
I
yourself.
give him an angry look, a snide look.
And he
This
kind of
guy
looks,
doesn't answer any of our questions.
he's like, he just kind of like raises his eyebrow and he just kind of stares at you like, you look like you can handle yourself just fine.
Thanks for the info.
Yeah,
So
he's like,
much help.
Yeah, we'll go drop off the chest now.
he goes, okay. He just kind of goes back to putting stuff away, and like all the provision stuff that you guys bought. And he's just kind of starts shuffling everything around, and trying to put things, keeping busy, putting stuff away. So you guys walk back out, and
Out
Who's-
to the
out to
what is
the
it?
cart.
Yeah.
Oh,
to the cart to drop off the chest.
Cool. And so as you guys, you see that the so Barthen's provisions was it's definitely well kept. I mean, it's not like brand new and ooh shiny and rich, but obviously they probably where a decent amount of money kind of goes in and out of the town. That's obviously one of the primary points of business. It's one of the main, one of the main stores where you can kind of go in and get stuff. The Lion Shield Coster, on the other hand, is very ornate. They have a very large shield, a big silver shield that's, kind of like right hanging up above the door, as a sign, and it has that, that beautiful blue lion kind of carved in, out of metal and kind of stamped on the front of it as well. And the door, is kind of like almost a shiny brass, and you just kind of like looking at it right next to the other place. It's like, okay, you've stepped into the expensive part of the mall going into this place. It says you you grab the who's carrying the chest inside.
Not my little ass.
Tyrael, you're strong.
I can share. I'll carry it.
Big man, carry things for
I am the
babies.
mule. Yep. Let's go.
So you're gonna just kind of like muscle up and bring everything in by yourself.
I pick up the chest with one hand. Yes. Tori is still balanced on the shoulder.
All right. So of course, even this place, as fancy as it is, also seems to have a bell on the door, so that way when it opens up, people can kind of hear you come inside. And the lady behind the counter, as she sees you kind of walk in, she's dressed very nice. She has a very nice dress on, kind of like almost a frilly collared and short sleeved, dress that kind of like flows out a little, a little bit lower, almost like above her ankle kind of thing. Top to bottom, just has a nice necklace on. This person clearly is representing. But at the same time, then you kind of look down at at her shoes, and she just kind of has on like regular shoes that are obviously meant for walking through the dirt street, dust and whatnot. And she immediately just kind of like stands up and is like, "Oh, thank you for," and she's kind of like looking at you and the cat, like one-handed, just like hoofing this, this chest into her, and she's just kind of like looking at it like, thank you for bringing that. Where did that come from?"
Ariel? That's you?
Yeah.
Oh, is he frozen?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just he's
Oh no.
Oh God. That's funny. I'm sitting here and I'm waiting. Like, bye, Tyrael. Oh, there he goes.
Okay. Oh, there he is.
You were just completely frozen. We're like,
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh,
It's going around. It's
the
going
brain
around.
is braining.
so
where did we leave off?
so the lady basically just kind of looks at you and she's like, "Thank you for bringing that in. Where did that come from?" As she said there, she's just kind of like looking up at you and the cat on your shoulder. That just literally, so Taurus is just kind of like sitting posted up on your on your other shoulder, just kind of like legs crossed, just kind of like chilling and just almost like, yo.
Real pussy boot shit going on right now.
Like, well, hello, fair maiden. We were actually told to
He's
bring this
farting.
chest here to you, and if you have any other further questions, please refer to my smaller friends, as they are much smarter than I am.
I like stick my head
Juicy.
down from behind them, be like,
man.
So she looks and she asks you, she's like, "Okay, thank you, but where did you get this?"
not.
That was the cave, right? That was part of the cave treasure when we.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was one of the three. That was one of the three chests that were there in Clark's
Yeah.
living
We
quarters
honestly don't know if it was
office.
part of. Yeah, We don't know if it was part of it, but Sildar said that he needed it, right? Or did he take his chest?
And
This is
are-
the chest.
Is
and
this
she looks.
our original one from the cart, or is this from the cave?
No,
Because
this
there was
is
one that was
this-
broken, one that was unopened, and then one that we did open and then
Mm.
looted.
Yeah, and there was the one that had. Yeah, this is the one that basically you could not open because it had a magic seal to it, and Alira was
right.
gonna do knock to try and
Pretty much.
blast to try and blast it open.
Right.
Then I thought better of that plan.
Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Gosh, we're like, yeah, we were sent to bring provisions back to you guys. And on our travels, ended up finding this thing, this chest that has
That
a
we
magic
cannot
seal on
open.
it, and we can't open it. So it's probably not for us to open.
and she kind of looks at it and she goes, "Were there any others?"
No.
So.
Well,
No.
you should ask.
Yes, but
Why?
we lost them in the big wash. out
Yeah, we got
From the booby trap.
yeah.
We lost
a
them
booby
in,
trap.
in a little bit
Was
of a
really
flood.
big. Lot of water.
Lot of water.
Little
That's
flood.
see the water will get you.
and like as you guys are like all kind of pinging and telling like this kind of like half-ass baked story of stuff, and she's like kind of keeping her eye on everybody and like slowly kind of piecing everything together, and she looked and she said, "So I'm assuming that this probably was part of the raiding provisions that got that got
Yes.
stolen."
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
I
what we're
believe that
looking
we were
for.
expecting.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe we were
Sildar.
expecting this a while ago, and she just kind of like points over to the the counter, and she looks and she said, "Kind gentleman, would you be so kind as to set that down over there?"
Of course.
Man.
Boopity boopity doop de doop.
So big old Tyrael just kind of like clink clink clink, with his
Clank, clank,
with his
clank.
with his armor just like making as much noise as a freaking bull in a china shop. He just kind of like reaches over and just kind of thunk, sets it down. The counter itself is very ornate. All of the countertops and everything in there are. It's almost like a black stone, like marbly kind of thing. So setting it down, you feel the you feel the weight of it just kind of like drop down to it, but obviously it's pretty hefty, and money has gone into this shop, so and she just kind of makes a as you kind of like just drop it down onto the counter. She's like, thank you, and just kind of like looks at you and
Yeah.
she walks in, she kind of like walks over to it and kind of like gets in between you and Torius and the countertop, and she's just kind of like looking up at at the cat sitting on your shoulder. You're like, and she walks up and she just kind of like she puts her hands on the chest and just kind of like backs up against you, just kind of like push you away a little bit to make a little more room, and then she just kind of like waves her hand in the front and she whispers something, and Taurus, you catch it immediately. She basically just kind of she more or less says she utters some incantation, and then you see the lock that you guys were unable to open just kind of and pop right open. And so she just kind of takes it and slides it, and she opens it up, and as she opens it up, everybody else, your view is basically just kind of blocked by Behemoth Man with his with his man-child armor on, and the cat, and you see Torius just kind of like lean over a little bit, like about to fall, and Tyrael just kind of like puts his hand up as as the cat's about to kind of, about to fall forward, and we'll put a pin in it there.
Oh,
What? No! That's not fair.
Dang it.
Freaking Torius!
Butthole.
Butthole.
Bro, not cool.
Wait.
Hey, I'm just proud of y'all. You figured out what the hell the wand was.
Yeah, thank God.
Hey.
You're welcome.
Thank God.
Took us long enough. That's like the one note that I've ever taken. Identify the stick wand.
Identify the damn wand.
I know it has. There's a star next to it, like at the top of my page.
It's like, please, seriously, priority A.
Yeah, so I am curious as to how that will come into play later on. It'll be interesting to see what the fuck you idiots do with that.
It's probably
Shove it
something
up someone's
really
butt.
stupid that doesn't help. Okay, exactly. Exhibit A.
Oh, can you teleport
Man.
someone with it up their butt?
Yeah, see that's what I'm saying. Like, because I was thinking about it earlier. Like, that'd be really efficient, right? Because then you don't have to worry about someone losing it.
You're not gonna know
Stick it up there.
anything unless you try.
All right, we're putting up the
We
cat's
are
asshole.
not-
And
Oh,
if it's one thing that we have learned, you can
Do.
try anything.
Oh god.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, middle fingers to everybody. I love you.
I love you.
Hey, yo.
Oh
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Okay,
a good
so-
bed now.
All right.
But now
Go to
hop
bed.
on.
Love you all. Whoever's gonna get on Destiny, I'll hop on with you and see if we can kind of fuck around for a little bit.
Blah blah
Right on.
blah.
All right. Love you,
Bye,
duties.
people.
Adios.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, fuckers, what the fuck?